been trying to get this done for a while, man. Eh?
Yeah,
And
bloody
you-
while, eh? So I think it would have been, July or something, whenever you started this thing. You shot me a message, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll, if you want to call me up, sure thing. You're like, nah, I'm not doing that. But, nah, appreciate the effort. Like, this is a hell of a setup, and, yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, I just never wanted to do, like, the phone stuff. You just don't get the emotion or the...
Nah, and it's just not, I don't know, I don't like hearing the phone stuff either. Like, I'll listen to it if it's someone cool, but, like, even a lot of the racing podcasts now, I don't listen to them just because it's just poor quality in a way. And, like, honestly, with the video as well, like, yeah, and I'm a big, like, listener to podcasts just because I work an office job, so I just have that on all day pretty much, so yeah.
So what do you actually... You're an engineer, aren't you?
Yeah, qualified mechanical engineer. So, yeah, studied...
It explains a lot.
Yeah, it explains a lot of overthink stuff, let's just say that. I did Monash University, 4 years there. Well, 5 years there, technically. I underloaded a bit because I had to work to race. Didn't get the free ride like a lot of guys got that in my classes, but a bit different circumstances. I got to race cars and just put my own wingless on the track at that point, and, yeah, it's paid off. It's opened a lot of doors, and... yeah, that's pretty much it.
So do you overthink a lot with setup in cars?
Oh, yeah. My dad would probably listen to this and he goes, oh my God, yeah. I do, but I don't. I've sort of gone a bit basic now. I've been lucky I've driven a lot of race cars, and that sort of helps you, like, really know what's a fad and what's not. But in terms of building the cars, I'm bloody particular. But there's just some things, like, you're sort of lucky, the best thing with being an engineer, your tolerance in a way. So, like, you have to be, like, an absolute bee's dick on this, or, like, you can let that slide a little. Like, it's a better way to prioritise your time a little bit. Just how you build cars and setups and all that. But the setups I do overthink. We're at Timber Speedway last night, the 360 with Paul McClure, and I'm scratching my head. I had a decent night's sleep, but, like, I couldn't stop thinking about why we sucked. Because we were so good in our heat races, and, qualifying I don't want to talk about, but... we were about halfway here to Bendigo with gear set, but we were just way too high. 360s pretty much suffocate themselves at the top end. They'll never hit a rev limit or nothing. They'll just run out of air. So, we were just head scratching just before, and, like, what went wrong with the car and all that. And, like, we weren't bad. We just weren't in the racetrack. But, yeah, they'll eat me up all week.
Yeah?
Yeah, lucky I only have a day before I race again, so otherwise they'll eat me up all week.
Yeah. That's what a lot of the Aussie guys I've spoken to, depending on what you're racing, you've either got, like, a fortnight if you're lucky, or a month, or maybe months between your next race, and you just get chewed up that whole time thinking about it until you can get back out there. But obviously with what you do in America, you don't have that. You can go multiple nights back to back. And
Yeah, with the America stuff, I only did 12 shows there last year, but it was in 5 different race cars. So
yeah, right.
It was pretty gnarly, but I had a lot of time to think about that, especially if I made a mistake in a car. But yeah, with the where was I going with that? Where were we going with that? I've already forgotten.
I don't know.
Yeah, just let it run off. I want to sort of close ends where I open them. So
setups and overthinking.
With Australia though, I've only done about 15 races here this year. So anyway, like last race I ran for Larry Fitzpatrick Autosport. I was one in wingless at the moment, and like we did not have an Oz1 performance at Portland. I tried some stuff like we used the DRC chassis, and that thing it's an evil motherfucker, to be brutally honest with you. And I know you don't mind swearing. I'm not going to swear too much. But, but yeah, it's an evil motherfucker. Everyone thinks, it must be a Cadillac, it must be the best. It is the best car in Australia, but it makes you fucking earn it.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to emphasise that. You really got to get up on the wheel, otherwise, and really nail the setup. Like, if the track's got what we struggled with at Portland, and I took some notes when I went there with Chris Temby early in the year, you've really got to get there's so much contrast in the racetrack, and that DRC really struggles. Like, it won't just get the slick and lazily sit there spinning tyres. It will try to spin you out, and then when it's in the holes, it will lock the ladder in the hole and try bloody throw your left side of the tyres off the ground. So
is that car like legitimately like the best of the best on it? Like
it's got all it needs to go really quick. It hasn't got the flash whiz bang tyre bolts. Like, a lot of it's grade A bolts on it. It's just got a 53-inch axle in it. Like, it's
not like a bigger dollar car as people would think, sort of thing.
I mean, we've done the right. We've done the stuff where it matters. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to have all the flash stuff on it. It has good shock numbers. It has all the optimized parts that make you go fast. Just none of the whiz bang stuff. That's the best way to put it. Like, everyone looks at it. There's nothing fancy. We don't run little tires. We don't run weird brakes here or there. We run tire brakes, and little brakes is for the inertia, but it just has all the optimized stuff to make it go fast. It's all those 1%ers. That's what this class is about.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten that way, hasn't it?
Yes, and it's just gotten tighter and tighter, like, even in the last 12 months. Like, yeah, like, I won one race this year, and it was a club show at Lang, and that just shows how tough it is. Like, you could be having a decent night, but someone's just having a little bit better. Just putting it all together, that's all it is. Because, yeah, I've struggled out of the gate. I always do. I've always struggled with my first heats, so we always sort of have a slow start to the night, and we're always clawing forward. I'm not talking like 15th. I'm talking 2 rows. Like, that's just what it is. But that's 2 or 3 spots, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the, like, especially from, like, obviously you're Victoria, I'm SA, and I noticed that, like, probably the top 8 guys in SA, there's not much difference between them or the cars, and it's like that track position is just critical in the class now.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't so much like 10, 15 years ago, but now it's like, it's almost everything. Like,
it was a crazy shock when I went. I think it was I was running for Fitzpatrick's at the time, but it was a 2020 SA title at Mount Gambier. And I was just seeing the explosive growth with wingless in SA, and they're all from Acre and stuff. And, like, as I've heard on this, back when I started, it was, good SA cars. You had pretty much Joel Chadwick, which I still think is, I think is one of the smartest races I've ever raced against. We had, I think, who else was at that time? I think there was Jack Hunt, he was around sprint cars or something like that, but there was, Tapley was really good back then too. I'm just trying to think, I ran the 50 lapper here years ago.
Tapley's still good. He's so underrated, that dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's so humble, and he's just there.
Plods along, yeah.
There's just some nights there where like, the car just comes out of nowhere, and he's like,
it used to be that every night, though.
Yeah.
You'd always be worried when the S47 was near.
Yeah.
But Robert Herb was a good one too, when he ran wingless a bit more. I've drawn a blank about a few others. I don't want to disrespect to them, but, like, SA didn't have the depth it has now.
Yeah, there's very much almost like a generational change has happened there in, like, you know, like, I mean, they're younger than me, but, like, guys like Joel Chadwick and stuff, like, they're sort of like the older guys of wingless now. Or, like, they've moved on kind of thing. And now there's all these, like, young guys like Tyson Martin and Ryland Further and, you know, all these young guys.
I couldn't even list all of them. They're that tough. I just go to an SA show and know, or they even come around the SummerSlam, and, that was tough. But, I just couldn't believe that state title. I'm like, wow, these guys are no joke. And, honestly, I undone myself just over driving and hit the fence. That was the last time I crashed that thing before Portland. And, like, that's, 4 years ago nearly?
Yeah,
that was the last time I actually crashed out myself. So that was a good achievement to have, but it sucked the streak had to end. But, SA wingless, no joke. Wingless racing down south here is absolutely no joke. It's still good. I think Sydney get going again. Like, because there used to be back
there's like 60 cars. When, like, pre all the stuff that's going on in Sydney, there was like 60 wingless there every meeting.
Yeah, Parramatta, mate. Like, Parramatta had his own posse, and there was the guys that just knew the joint. You had to know that place.
Yeah.
That was still my favourite track. Up here at Timmins is now my favourite track, but Parramatta, they knew you're always behind because they knew it so well. Like, back then you had pretty much Blighto doing Blighto things. Troy Carey would always run his car tight as and run the middle and just pass everyone, and then he'd have I think it was guys like the what's their names, the Thomases, Thomas brothers. They'd bash a cushion down, or they just and obviously I can't discount Batesy as well. Like, they were just, there was a massive, I can't even remember all of them. Floodies, there was young man Floody, I don't remember his name, but they'd always be very good there. I only did one race in a wingless, 2 races in a wingless there, and she was tough.
I never got there, I was spewing.
Never went to Parramatta.
Never went to Parramatta.
It was so different at everything.
Yeah.
Like, it gave me very US vibes, let's just say that. But I miss it. It's where I learned to run a cushion. Because, I think that helped me a lot in America, just running there.
Have you been to the new one? You been to Eastern Creek?
I have, yeah. We went there a few times just because we had so many rainouts. And, Yeah, I pretty much topped points like 3 times, and I kept getting inverted. Then I got grumpy about it. But they have a bit of club invert. I thought the first night they were just doing it for fun. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll invert it, whatever. But it's an actual club thing, and I didn't realise.
Yeah, right.
So they invert the field. It's good though for the fans though. It made me work for it, that's for sure. But there's even up there now, good guys like obviously Batesy's probably the king of there up there right now. But Braden Shute and.
I know that he's got like stuff going on with Joel Chadwick, but when I was up there watching him race, it was full like Joel Chadwick vibes up there of like Batesy's just like out front smashing everyone, and that's exactly what Joel Chadwick was like at like Speedway City. Like,
yeah, I never seen Speedway City, so there you go. You got one on me.
Yeah, right. If like I wouldn't have raced wingless when Joel Chadwick was racing, put it that way. I'd just be like,
he beat me in an SO title.
There's just no point. Like he was just There was like this sick little thing going on there for a while. It was like Brock Hallett in a 500. Like you just wouldn't. There's no point racing 500s. Aiden Hall in a lightning sprint was just absolutely decimating everyone. He actually started like 3/4 of a lap behind the field one night in a feature, and I think he lapped everyone up to second.
Wow. And
then he had Joel and Todd Wigsell. Todd Wigsell was sort of just moving on as Joel really hit his prime.
Yeah,
so,
I missed Wiggles's time too. So my sister probably may have raced him, but yeah.
I remember some of the features with Joel and Todd, man. It was just like hectic.
Yeah.
Like for wingless racing, it was like absolutely like killer. It was like you didn't need sprint cars there. It was like just that was good enough.
I think it's getting to that point now. You just have to have the right racetrack. That's the thing. They're very racetrack dependent. Like we can't. Like I was seeing the track change last night, very similar to how the SA title for the wingless changed, but the sprint cars they just sweep dirt. Wingless just sit on top and polish, so we can't. And that's what happened at Portland too. Like the top was nice, but the problem is the wingless is shooting little fine crumbs up. You got to try to keep it clean, but you're not spinning the tyres hard enough to keep it clean.
Yeah,
it's just a different vibe. But
is that the same in America, or is it different because you got the power there?
Yeah, you'll have a cushion built in 4 laps. That's the difference. American tracks, they change so quick, and you got to be on top of it, on top of your shocks and all that as well. But it's the wingless, that just sort of like if you get a couple guys helping you, it's not too bad. Like at Portland, I was looking at the track, I'm like, everyone's going to just run the hole. There was like a hole this deep going into one, and you all just went in and bottomed out nearly. I bottomed out because he ran a car so low pretty much. But I knew like going in, I'm like, I'm going to miss this hole. I'm not running it.
What do you think about? I've heard a few like track prep guys say that sometimes the racers have got to create the track themselves too.
Yeah, 100%.
You're a believer of that?
Yes, I am. But the issue with them, I'm going to be on the contrary. The track shape has to be right too. Look at Eastern Creek right now. Like that track had sort of progressive bank in it when it was wider, but it still went it was very flat right on the bottom, but the banking picked up way too quick, and then you're stuck on the top of a crown. Australian races always have this stupid crown on top, and I don't know why. Mildura doesn't. That's why I love it. So, but they have taken a bit of banking out of the top, I noticed. But yeah, like Eastern Creek, they're on the wall. You have to slow roll the bottom.
Jamie Cobby's theories on that is that a lot of the grader guys are cancel workers, and they're just used to grading roads and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what me and Dad said. We go up and we see like a poorly prepped track. I'm not going to name names, but they go up and they're like, I'm like, what's it like, Dad? And he goes, it's like building a council road.
Yeah.
Like, and like, it's just, it's all Putnamville. Although, like, Bloomington's a little different, that's red dirt, but, like, Circle City, Paragon, for one, all their track prep is honestly not that great. It's honestly shit, to be brutally honest. But the joint, once again, the racer does help. The racer has to move the dirt around and clean off, but when you have 900 horsepower, just spinning tyres trying to get the car to catch up, no wing on, it's going to move the dirt good. But the track shape helps so much, like, yet how slow you have to hit the bottom at those joints. I still can't figure the bottom out of Bloomington. You have to like right front it in and roll it so damn tight. But Anyway, I should give some context to what I'm saying about America. Last 2 years I have raced non-wing 410s in America around the Indiana area, which is pretty much the hotbed of non-wing sprint car race, and they're professionals. I'm not professional by any means, let's just say that, but we're trying. I don't think I'll get to that level, but I want to just try be able to beat those guys, or compete, more or less. It'd be great to beat them, but to compete. And
why don't you think you'll get there?
It's just you're behind. COVID killed me a little bit, but the thing is over there is a lot of the the local guys are always ahead of you because they know, like Parramatta deal, they're always ahead of you because they know the track back to front. Which I actually, a lot of my races, I only did 12 shows, but I probably went to 60 last year when I was in the States. And every Friday, Saturday at the local races, I wanted to race that. And I'd always write a note in my phone of what the track was doing, how they prepped it. And I actually picked up pretty decent what it was going to do. They're always ahead of you in the way, as I was just saying, that they just know how it develops. They know what the weather does. They know what old mate in the grade is going to do. They know how this guy's going to race you. They know how this guy's going to race you, which I'm getting there. I think I'm a bit hard on myself. I think I can get it, but...
So you think you've got to move there to make it happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I'm actually just watching the No Way Out 40 on my phone with timing and stuff, and the USAC guys are just on an absolute other level. Like, it's hard. It's like, and I'm not discrediting the wingless guys at all with our class. It's like the local guys, the local wingless club show compared to World of Outlaws.
Yeah.
Like, I would say World Series for our context, but like, the USAC guys are absolutely no joke. Their stuff's perfect. Their motors are big, smooth, and they have this great tuning program. And they just have notes on you. That's what they have, and the laps, at diverse laps. See, that's where the local guys struggle. If a guy's good at Putnamville, he's not going to go to Kokomo because he sucks there, and he doesn't want to get better. He's happy running Putnamville every week.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing I know. So I'm happy to race anywhere. But I think I'm a weird in-betweener over there. So it's a bit different, that's for sure. But, yeah.
So that's obviously like the dream is to race USAC for...
Yeah.
For
I want to race USAC's 3 Series. Midgets, a bit meh. I love midgets as a fan, but it makes you pucker up watching them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to run Silver Crown and sprint cars for sure at the USAC level, but I achieved one of my goals. I always set 5-year goals for myself. And I'd set them in 2019 when I first was going over there working on cars. But COVID, I sort of cancelled out. I couldn't do much about that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get over 2.5 years, but I pretty much, just set a 5-year goal. I want to be in a car consistently and have guys wanting you in it rather than, like, establish myself in a way. And I've achieved that. Like, I'm running for John Sidrett. He just pretty much... It was a perfect timing. He fired Dickie Gaines, who's... Back in Dickie's day, like, you know who Dickie Gaines is?
Yeah, I know the name.
So if you watch the 2003 Mopar Million, Dickie's in a Hoffman car, which is, like, to compare with wing racing out here, it's like running for Monty.
Yeah.
Or someone like that. He was in that and put out a 4. I don't remember the position, but he put out like 4 in the Mopar Million, biggest sprint car race ever at the time. A non-wing race for sure. But yeah, he just... so John's story is he's had his son in there, Jason, but Jason raced, I think he ran dirt bikes, lightning sprints, and then he ran sprint cars a bit. This is late 2000s, mid 2010s. But unfortunately Jason got diagnosed, I think, with bone marrow cancer and acute leukemia. I don't know the word, it's very complicated. It's a very one of them long medical terms, but I don't want to do that in disrespect to John if he listens to this. But John has a Motorola flip phone, so I don't think he'll figure it out. But anyway, he wanted to keep racing for his son, Jason, and put Dickie in the car. And I remember the car from 2015 when I went to Indy for the first time. And it hasn't changed paint schemes till this year when I'm driving it, so that's different. But he honestly, he had Dickie in the car so long that I thought it was Dickie Gaines' car, but it wasn't.
Right.
So,
one of those deals.
So anyway, the guys with my shirt at the Shores, that's Jacob's ladder on Instagram.
I follow him. I love his stuff, hey?
They're awesome dudes. But him and Mike Whitney got onto me. They just seen I was at Lawrenceburg and like, check this kid out, follow him and all this. And they just messaged me, chatted all the time during COVID and all that. And they wanted to get me back over there and hang out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And I showed Inch, I love vintage cars. Like, I have a big passion for that.
The stuff that, if anyone's, like, listening or watching, go follow Jacob's Ladder on Instagram.
Yeah, and it's with 1D.
With the history of the, like, speedway racing stuff that he does is insane.
It's insane. And, like, they're pretty much what those guys do is, I won't get too off tangent, but they pretty much, like, he's building Harry Miller replicas that got lost in the fires. Like, there was fires in the 20s or something. Like, he doesn't live in Cincinnati or Lawrenceburg anymore. He moved out to, up to Detroit and he runs like a Harry Miller replica joint, and it's unbelievable.
Like
They're making like a V16.
Yeah.
Harry Miller that's never been built before. There's only ever been built.
And they're like machining like brand new parts.
Yes.
20s spec.
Yes,
Like, yeah,
yes,
it's crazy.
yes.
It's crazy. Just go.
20s
I wish
blockers.
someone like had the money to just to follow him like full time with a camera or something.
Yes.
Like it'd be like
The clients he has, he could.
it's a sick show.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to hook up with Jesse James. Jesse James has got like a new TV show thing coming out. That'd be
I think
sick.
just with Josh's following too, like he needs something like that because it'd sell.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
can do it yourself on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll go back to how I got in touch with John. So, because obviously John's not a social dude. Like he has a Motorola flip phone. He's 67. Mike Whitney, which is Josh's mate, he's who I kept in touch a lot. His job is restoring drag cars and sprint cars. So that's how I got that deal running a car at Winchester with a Cageless AJ Foyt car.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But anyway, I was just hustling, running the 5T car a lot, which is good. I appreciate the Damings for all they did to me with that. But Sprint Week, I had nothing. I just had my seat in my car every night in the Maserati, which I have a white 2011 Mazda 3 with about 3 different whites spray painted on it. I don't think it has airbags, but anyway, I got it real cheap. It's my drive around car. Had that with a seat spacer kit, rolling around with my race gear in the boot. Went to every race crewing for KO Motorsports with Dason Pursley. So yeah, Ken asked me a month ago if he wanted to do it. I'm like, yeah, no, if I got nothing, I'll help you. And like, I probably can't help during the day if I got stuff on. And he goes, yeah, no, that's fine. And I helped then. I was just thrashing at Circle City. I think we had a little bingle. I think Dason got the wall and hot laps and bent the beam, changed the beam, and I get 2 missed phone calls from Mike, and he goes, I need you to call me right now. I'm like, okay. And anyway, I called him. I went up the top of the mezzanine of the trailer, and yeah, he's like, I just out of the blue called John Sudrette, and I'm like, I haven't spoken to him in 2 years, but he lives over the hill from me. And I said to him, like, I just wanted this spitball from him because I know you're struggling. And he goes, just give him a call. He wants to give you a shot. I'm like, holy shit, really? Anyway, I'm like, all right, I'll call him tomorrow because it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock by that point. The race is finished. Yeah, I called him and he's like, yeah, come on down and we'll have a chat. And yeah, no, I was pretty impressed. He doesn't have a lot, but man, his stuff's nice. Like, he has a one-way 410, so that's like comparing to a rider. So yeah, my first job when I get there this year, which is May sometime, is take it to a chassis dyno and detune the thing. Because yeah, once you qualify, you really, like USAC style, you got to really detune them to get them in the track, because otherwise they just light the tyres up. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got to drive for John. Yeah, I ran for 5 teams last year, and that was really fun. And I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot about engines, different engines and all that. But man, it was hard to adjust, hard to adapt when, especially all these guys are running twice a week, 3 times a week, and yeah, kicking your ass pretty much. But I held my own. I did good at some shows. Like the 5T car's nice. Jake Swanson was a real good help. He has that program really good with and Joe and Austin and all that. But unfortunately, yeah, Joe passed away not long ago, which is a bummer. Yeah, he treated me like family. I went there every Tuesday and just hung out and worked on the car. But yeah, ran for Wingos as well. That was cool. That's where I first time I went to Indy in 2019 was I pretty much got I went on, you know what Indiana Open Wheel is?
Yeah.
So I was messaging every USAC team to ask, like, I want free help, just give me a bed and a pit pass. I had either, we're not looking right now, but we'll keep an ear out. Keep an ear out means we don't give a fuck, to be brutally honest.
We don't care about you, Aussie.
Yeah, Americans are self-centered. You'd get it if you were over there. But it's no disrespect for them, it's just how it is. But yeah, they pretty much, I was out of options because I actually had a deal with Michael Dutcher, who's Jane Rogers is driving for now. He had Darland in the car at the point, but Darland was meant to bring some sponsorship, didn't happen. And yeah, Mike had to fold the team for a bit. And he said, I'm sorry, mate, I'm not doing any racing, so I'm a month out and I've got nothing. Message more people, just follow up, nothing. Like, there's one thing about me, I don't stop. I'm relentless, so if I need something out of you and like it's time dependent, poor you. And it's not like I'm pushy about it. I just want to make sure it's done. That's just how I am. But anyway, then I put on Indiana Open. Well, look, because I think what the issue is a lot of race fans are just measuring everything and they can work on a sprint car. It's not like that. There's a lot of trust involved in that. And yeah, when I first got there with this, I got Brian Van Meveren from Minnesota. I didn't realise he was doing the whole USAC tour.
Yeah, right.
He's a lawyer from St. Paul, and he based all his stuff out of Wingo Shop. So, and that's 10 hours from where Brian lives. So he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, can you stay in Airbnb or something?" I'm like, "Nah, I got literally $2,000 with me, mate. I'm just gonna have to just go wherever you go and do whatever." And he goes, "Oh, look," I said to him, like, "I don't mind sleeping in the shop. Like, if there's a couch there, I'll buy a couch from Marketplace or whatever." But there was a couch, and I slept in the couch for 5 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild to think back to that, but it was worth it. Trust me. Every day I loved it. Worked 18-hour days. Didn't complain once. And
so, what are you doing for work when you're over there?
Nothing.
So you're looking to work on race cars to get.
I didn't get paid.
Yeah, right.
I only get paid to race. So, it's cash. So if the US government's listening to this, don't listen. Actually, I don't want to. I shouldn't say it, but yeah, if you're on an Esther, you can actually technically get prize money because it's no different.
Yeah.
To being on the lorry, but just keep it on the DL. That's like, it's they don't like it. I did tell them I was when I went through customs last year, and they didn't like it. But
yeah, right. Because it is like
they had to let me in though. There's nothing wrong with it.
Because the promoters pay cash over there, don't they? At the end of the night.
Depends. Some tracks catch. America's so backwards, dude. They're all check.
Yeah, right.
Still on check.
But it's the end of the night, they kind of do, isn't it?
Yeah, you roll out. You get. USAC isn't. They get posted.
Yeah, right.
But most of the local tracks are cash. Lawrenceburg's check, and MSCS, which is now the Midwest Thunder 410s, is check as far as I'm aware. So it's a good thing with me though. I just get the check to them, and they give me whatever, like my percentage out of their wallet, and call it good. Good gas money and food money for the week. That's how it works pretty much. You're pretty much on a 40% or a 50% deal.
Pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty standard like that. It depends on different drivers. I had a different deal with every team. But yeah, it worked out good.
It's pretty funny because your mate that's over there that came out for the Aussie midget title, he asked my cousin at the end of the night, he's like, "Where the fuck's my money?" And we were laughing. We're like, "Dude, we went." Yeah. That won't be here for like 3-6 months, maybe 6 months, man. He's like, "The fuck do you mean?" And it's like, dude, that's not. He's like, "Where's the promoter with my cash?" And we're like, "Good luck, dude." Like,
it's not even the promoter that pays it out.
Off you go, like, go find him. Like,
none of my deals here pay. Like, I butted Larry up a bit for the national title because he won the Calcutta too.
Yeah, right.
So he won a fair bit of money.
Yeah.
I butted him up a bit. I'm like, "Come on, Larry, you won the national title. Need a bit of spending money for America, mate." And he's like, "All right, Todd, I'll give you something." I'm paid nothing to run Paul's. Larry's usually is. The thing with Larry's deal, it's cool. Like,
it's probably what helps you get drives though too. Like,
it does, but you don't want to sell yourself too short. But here it doesn't matter. No one's making money off it.
Yeah.
Over there, you don't want to sell yourself too short because then you thought it was desperate.
Yeah.
And you look like a bit of a scab in a way.
Because some of the stories I've heard of guys here in Australia that the stuff that they ask for, it's like, calm down.
Australian drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they're asking for like money, flights, accommodation, it's like, calm down.
Larry's deal is we give you a car, find your way there, pay your way in.
Yeah.
Well, Larry's nice, he lets me stay. Like,
dude, I'd hike for a drive.
Yeah, bloody oath. Well, when I was going to come up here, my mum actually talked me out of it. I was driving up Thursday night, and I just said to her, I'm like, I'm just going to sleep in the car on the way up. I'm 7 hours from here. So I'll just sleep halfway, and because I booked something up here, but like I didn't book anything the night before. Typical unorganised me. Well, I'm not unorganised. I just leave stuff late, and I just don't care about it too much.
Not a bed for the night.
Yeah, I'm happy to sleep in the car. Mum's like, "You're not sleeping in the car," and she just helped me out a little bit with the motel. Love you, Mum. But it's definitely such a different culture here.
Yeah,
and it's just with pay, like, because it's unless you run a series, the track will pay you that night. Like, literally, when you roll out, you try and pack your stuff up and don't go to the pay window straight away, but you can't be too late, otherwise they just won't pay you. They'll close the window. Yeah, right. So Damings were always there late. The Damings theory is if you can't win the race, you got to win the party. So they'll just. It's pretty funny. I called it the patio. You'd unload. then they'd have about 6 or 7 camp chairs, and we'd always have, like, the pits aren't as tight as ours, like, they have plenty of room. So we'd always, roll the car out, he's got a golf cart and a quad, and anyway, they have about 7 camp chairs, put it all there, little tables and snacks, all the eskies along the side. Jenny, his wife, would always cook, and we'd have a little party just sitting there. If you weren't working on the car, there'd be 6 or 7 blokes that just come to watch Joe's car race, just sitting there in the patio and just hanging out. And then after the race, you just sit there till 1 or 2 a.m. drinking. They just drink piss. So,
just living the dream.
It was good fun. The one night I regret is I left early one night after a Bloomington show, and I drove there myself there in Bargersville. I mean, I was in Pittsburgh, so that's like, 45 minutes out of the way. And anyway, I just drove there myself. It didn't bother me. Gas is cheap. And they they ended up out there till 2 a.m. racing a golf cart and a 4-wheeler on the track at Bloomington in the dark. But I got a ride out of it because they called me at 2 a.m. when I was sleeping to run Paragon the next night. And I had to ring them in the morning to say, shit, am I actually running tonight? Or was that a dream? Like, no, you're running tonight. See you there.
It's unreal, eh?
Yeah, no nomination fees either. That's the good thing too. Like,
right. Yeah, so, that's one thing I've seen on Facebook is like how the Yanks trip out that we have this nomination thing.
Yeah,
it's good
and bad.
I
understand it. Like, we don't have the population they do. Like, they can't. The thing is, they have the security they're going to have. Well, the thing is, they pay. It's sort of an ecosystem. They pay enough where they know they're going to get 20 cars a night. Yeah, in a way, because like for example, like the Paragon feature, a local show is like the pool is 13 grand straight up.
Yeah, right.
So,
like a weekly show?
Yeah, that's the prize pool. So it's 300-ish to start, and pays really well. Like, it pays like $2.5 grand to win US. So, and it pays really well. It's like $1,500 for second, $900 for third.
Yeah,
and it pays really good down the order. But but the thing is, over there with no nominations, that they know they're going to get this many cars if we put this much money on.
Yeah,
and they're usually right. And there is competition, like Paragon and Putnamville run the same night. So Putnamville's Lincoln Park Speedway, if people don't know that. They run the same night, and Paragon pays a little better. So you get, I don't know, it's a bit, I can't predict who's going to go where now. Usually you can, you got your habitual guys that just go to the same place. But they, it's funny, Flow Rail, it was a race on Flow Race in Indiana Sprint Week. Biggest night is the Putnamville night, usually in terms of car count. Or Gas City the first night, but Putnamville was the opener this year, which is going to be wild. There'll be 60 or 70 cars there, but there was 52 or 50 cars there at Lincoln Park for the Sprint Week, biggest week of the year. I'm sitting at Greencastle, which is a town over, with my dad having an ice cream. Well, he likes his ice cream. I just got a smoothie or something. I don't drink too much sugar or have sugar. Keep the weight down. But I get a call and I'm like, here we go. I know what's going to happen here. I see a call from Joe. I'm like, Joe's like, we're racing tonight. We're going to watch. Like, I didn't even watch it from last show, like the week before. Like, we're going to watch it, do a bit of small maintenance, and we'll do the rest of the maintenance at the track, and we'll run tonight. I'm like, righto, see you there. He's like, we won't be there till 5:30. Race starts. Well, the race actually got rained on for a bit, so we didn't start till about 7:30. But rolled up at 5:30. I signed in, drew my pill, like the nomination, at like 4. So I said to him, like Kirk Spridgen, I'm like, got good news, Kirk. We're racing tonight, 5:10. He's like, hell yeah, all that. And I'm like, where's car won't be here for another hour and a half. He's like, don't matter, I'll be here. Just draw a pill.
So that's so different over here, eh?
It's wild,
but
it works.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? The thing, like, I like the nominations because you know who's coming and stuff. But yeah, I get over there too. It's just a different world, isn't it?
It is, and like I'm in a group chat with a lot of local sprint car kids there. I'm probably the oldest one in it, but they're at the No Way Out 40s on at Paragon, and they're all discussing, like, looking around the pit, seeing how many cars. But they're saying, we always had to. I think it's just a lot of the races. We always have a guess of what's going to be there.
Yeah.
And then they just go back and forth how many cars are in the pits. I'll be honest, I can give two shits who's in the pits now. Like, that's the art of over there in a way. Like, I used to psych myself out with the nominations a lot here. I'd say, oh shit, I'd size myself up, and it's Tuesday, you know.
Yeah.
That's not good for the brain. So now I just don't care who's there. I don't look at the nominations. Yeah. I see if my mates are racing. Oh, sick, I'm running with my mates. Like, this is wingless, sprint cars, all that. Like, I just don't care. Like, it's not a arrogance thing. It's just, I don't need to know. race with the cars that are Dell in the night. I can't do anything about it.
And it's like, you know who's in what car anyway by the time you get out on track and stuff anyway.
Yeah,
so you just,
And that's the thing. Like, it is a car. Like, and the good thing running with those USAC guys, and I don't even know, I got a little bit starstruck the first hot lap session I did. But it was a bit of a lackluster night because it started raining in that hot lap session and we got cancelled. So that was sort of a bit of the feeling, like, oh shit, I'm racing with these guys. And I had that feeling as well, my first local show I ran there. Like, I was running the Burton 04. Like, I'm sliding Jeff Ensign for the win. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I'd rip around Dave Darlin falling the fluff. And I'm sliding the Dutcher car that I was helping, was going to help that year, and the 24P, if you know that car, that Timer Hocko races.
Yeah.
That thing won 4-track championships there, and I'm racing these guys. Like, not just on the same track with them, I'm competing, sliding them, passing them. And the Fox 53 too, with Braden running. Like, the Fox 53 is iconic.
Yeah.
Like, just that first couple of nights, like, running them guys and competing them, even beating them. Like, that sort of just set for him, like, alright, these are just race cars now. Like, everyone's not immortal. These are just race cars.
Yeah.
And that sort of set the precedent in my head with that. And now I just think every race, every car's the same. Like, USAC, All-Stars, SRA, World Series, whatever you want to call it, like, every car's the same. So, that was a really good thing that happened then.
Yeah, it sounds like I don't know, like a bad attitude kind of thing, but it's almost the way you've got to be. It's the same in any sport. It's like the same in, like, team sports. Like, you don't care who's on the other side. Like, you got to go smash that dude. Like, it's
well, not even that. You just got to. Well, here's another thing. I'm going to go off tangent a bit. Like, I'm really mental. I'm trying to get better. I'm not. Like, I feel like I'm good physical. I'm good. Like, I have my head half screwed on, right? Like, half. I run 410 numbers, so it's half. We're a few head bangs away from not. I just think, you just got to race the racetrack more or less and not worry about the cars around you.
Yeah.
Because I know if you've watched how I roll around, I scout the entire racetrack. And I credit that to how I won my national title. I scouted the whole racetrack. Literally.
That's the engineering brain coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And just the laps, though. Like, you see so many tracks and what they do to it. And I ran Archerfield a lot, but I never ran there that late in the year. So that was a difference. But, I sized that whole racetrack up. I'm like, only good part of this is 2 wheels on the curb and right rear in the shit, you know. If I'm any higher, it's slick. The tops, I knew Batesy was going to smash the top down. But, the top, the thing with wing, if that was a 410, I'll bang the wall down all day. But the tyre can't spin.
Yeah.
The cushion, because it was April, the moisture was coming up. And, we couldn't spin the tyre. So the thing would just get stuck in this curve that this sprint car made that's just tall and, like, up along the wall like this. So, that's pretty much how I broke that down, but that's just how you got to do it. Like, you can't... Because if you're psyching yourself out before it, you've already lost.
Yeah.
That's my theory. You don't really want to... You don't really want to be already losing when you're there because you're worried, for example, like last night, Rusty Hickman and Mark Carusso's in my heat race, you know? Like, I didn't even know they were in my heat race last night. I'm like, Rusty comes second. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is now, I just look who I'm behind. And I sort of look the sort of 4-ish cars around me. And that's just sort of how that's just how I plan my starts. I don't care where anyone else is. So, it's not an ignorance, it's not an arrogance, it's just how you have to do it.
Yeah. Even talking to Stephen last night at the end of the night, he doesn't remember seeing or anything going past Rusty and Mark.
Yeah.
He just didn't know.
Yeah.
He just didn't know where he was at, and then he come up on lap cars and he's like, oh shit, I must be leaving. Like, he just didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's just like,
I was too busy plodding around trying to spinning tyres down the back.
So it's like, it happens like so quick. It's like...
It does. Yeah. And like, that's the thing with the wing cars. Like, shit happens quick. It slows everything down. Like, and 410s are another level. Like, 360s, they aren't flat out, but they are. Like, it's hard to describe, but you're always up in the highs a bit more. The 410s are just evil. Well, they're not evil. They're just out of control.
How quickly do you pick up other people's cars when you're travelling around? Like when teammates come out and we'd be like talking about something like, watch this guy, he'd be like, what car's that? And we'd be like, oh, the blue and black one. He's like, oh, okay, no worries. And then like within like a couple of races, he's picked up who's who by their car and like the graphics on it or something like that. Yeah. It's like...
I'm a bit aware of it like that. Like, I do say, like, I I don't grade people like, oh shit, like I do, but I don't. Like I know, oh, obviously he's good. He's gonna race. I do in the context. He's gonna race me like this. That guy's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. Like I just sort of, I don't get the emotion of like, oh shit, he's good. He's gonna smoke me, or shit, he's no good. He's gonna be in my way, or he's a bit of a squirrel. But more or less, I just think of like in terms of like action in a way. Like he might do this if I do this, and like he might be a bit more bottom feeder. Or, like, he might just rip the shit out of the top and not lift or something, you know? Like, that's how I break it down. And, like, I know every race car. Like, it's not that I don't care. Like, I don't care who's there, but I know every race car. Trust me. And, like, even in Indy, like, I knew every car before I raced there. And it's just how I am. It's just... This is all I do. I don't have hobbies. I don't do anything else. I race cars, work to race cars. And that's it. Like, I don't do anything else.
This like you've been brought up in speedway.
Yeah,
like
Dad raced for 50 years. Like he's in the sport for probably 53 now. And I ran a tribute car to him up here. It was his old sprint car from 1980 sometimes. It has beautiful teal colour on it. And I always wanted to do it. I did it on iRacing. And I loved it so much. And I just wanted to do it in person. And I was going to do it at the All-Star Challenge, but I was still on my rookie ribbon and it wasn't going to really get the exposure it wanted. So I decided to do it up here. And yeah, my sister nailed it. We both nailed it. I really love it. I still have all the panels in my shed in the wing. And yeah, he appreciated it. He's not speechless too often, but he was when we revealed it. And there's a video on Facebook when we did it, and he was completely shocked. He was wondering why I was yelling at him to stay out of the shed. I'm like, don't you go in the shed, all right? You know, but yeah.
Because what haven't you raced? Like V8 dirt mods?
So I've raced...
Wings, non-wings, like...
I haven't run a midget.
Oh, never, ever?
Never.
Yeah, right.
I'd like to. I'd like to run a good one. But I haven't run a super rod, which I want to do that. I mean, I'm sort of in the works trying to do that. Because they look badass.
Dude, they confuse my head, eh?
Yeah.
Do they confuse your head when you see them?
Dane Cord has his. I wouldn't have had a good look at his, because Beretta's not far from me. Where I work. They're about 500 metres from me.
Yeah, right.
Some of them may, but Dane came to me at the Classic 2 years ago, and he was just asking me about non-wing stuff. And, yeah, I had a good chat to him about it. And, anyway, I just went and said, I noticed his car at the All-Star Challenge was really loud. I'm like, God, this thing's loud, Dane. I'm like, I don't know what the boys did to it. And I look at his seat, and he's actually got a reverse seat in it. And it just, it was the most head fucky thing I've ever seen in my life.
They confuse my head, eh?
Oh,
like,
they do.
Yeah, I don't...
That's why I'm worried if I ever drive one, the muscle memory's wrong.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I steer with my left hand.
Yeah.
Like, I sort of slide my right a little bit, but all my force is out my left hand.
I really rate them. I actually think they're really
cool.
great class.
I wish dirt mods... Well, there was a thing my dad was telling me in the 90s, my old dad Lloyd, that SDAVs, dirt modifieds up... Like, because there was VSCA grade hot rods. They were like the Victorian dirt modifieds.
Yeah.
And then there was... I think your South Australian ones as well. There was those ones that go the wrong way. Then there was the super rods, SCAV rods, and whatever the modifieds were called up north, like where they are in Lismore and stuff now.
Yeah.
So they're all separate. There was a big meeting to make them all merged, and only the VSCA grade, I think the SA rods did the same, and the dirt mods from up north. But yeah, the SCAVs and the super rods didn't, because they wanted to stay going the wrong way. And they don't even race against each other, and they're the same frigging car.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the super rods, they've actually made them real... If you look them up close, they're race cars. They're not piles of
definitely,
junk.
yeah.
Like, they got winners, aluminium axles in them. They got beautiful shocks on them.
Yeah, they're a legit sprint car. They just go this...
Yeah,
like, don't let the fiberglass body throw you.
No, they've all got really nice stuff on it. All run Swindell bleeders. And
yeah, they're all like top
really.
Chaz did actually a really good video on them when he was talking, because he was spun out by them too. Obviously, the fact that they're going the wrong way, and he sees a right rear tyre on the left. He's like,
well, I tried to explain this terminology. I was actually speaking to Corey McCullough about when he was at Simpson last week, and he's just saying, like, left rear is doing this and all that. Like, wrong way, mate. And, yeah, he's like, yeah, it's just... And then you speak to someone like, I know Sean Walsh and Andy Howard pretty well, and you speak to someone who's done it for a while, and they just, we've done this to the right rear, and you're thinking, like, right rear, left rear?
Yeah.
I had a good thing, like, you just say inside, outside.
Yeah.
I guess, but yeah.
I always think they're really good at the Classic. I think
yeah, they are.
I think that's
perfect. I hope they never change that.
I think they help the track. A lot of people are against it, but yeah.
Whoever's against it don't understand it, I guess. I don't know. If I'm being a smart ass.
sometimes it's
You
actually
need something to
put-
bring the track in. Do you
Sometimes
want to go?
it's
So
put
you're
on the
either
best
going to
racing.
so you're either going to complain about running on a snotty 1-lane track, which it's going to be anyway, usually if you're in the first heat. But yeah, the rods are going to bring it in for you. The sprint cars are a bit precious sometimes, I think. Yeah.
No, I mean, what?
Yeah.
So you reckon you'd super? So what about like super sedan or late?
I want to
model?
run a super sedan. Yeah, late models. I don't know. The big title turned me off him a bit. Not going to go there.
I actually forgot about that till we just then. Hey, yeah, that was yeah.
What else?
The super sedans are coming on again, eh?
Yeah.
Like,
Up in Queensland, they're ridiculous. Like, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And even down Vic. Like, Vic super sedans remind me of Vic dirt modifiers. They fluctuate, but dirt mods have been in a hole in Vic for a while. I don't really know what
the
it is.
LS is helping the super sedans, I reckon.
We have them in dirt mods too.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
We don't have any in Victoria, but my dad's a bit anti them, but I don't blame him sometimes.
Because what do you run in the dirt? That
360, they're a 360 small block. Like, this like a 360 sprint car block.
Yeah, right.
Steel heads. I don't know the 100% spec of the engine, but I think they're fairly open other than you have to run a compression ratio.
Right.
Flat top piston.
Oh, so they're not big blocks.
No.
Right. So
No, there's no big blocks in America anymore than Super Dirt car.
Right.
So,
Because the
the
American stuff.
STSS, they're
Yeah.
all, they call them big small blocks. So they're just bored to the shit.
Yeah, right.
Big small block engines. Because it's the weight's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, they're used to lugging a boat anchor around.
Mm.
So they've... And it's the same when you run the 525 LS with the 360 dirt mods. Like, the 360 open motor, we call them. Like, they're a bit down on horsepower, but shit, they handle better. And that's what I noticed driving the difference between a LS sprint car and a 360. They're a little down on horsepower, but they're a very smooth motor. And they got they got a smooth motor, a lot of torque. And they just handle like a dream just because they're aluminium. Like, that's a massive difference.
Yeah.
And they just... I call them, they're a bit more of a wingless than a wingless is a wingless, because the wingless, they just, no wheel spin, you got to pull them off the back tyres, where the LSs, they just have that just enough horsepower, and they just roll around beautiful on the wing. Like, and I was very lucky, I drove probably one of the nicest LSs you'd ever have with the Easy Print car.
Yeah.
Like, that car was beautiful to drive. It was effortless. I'm like, surely it's not that easy. But, yeah.
What's your... So being... wingless Australian driver, what's your thoughts on the engine stuff?
I'm a bit on the fence about it. I think the way they're going to have to go is like a filthy old LS1 or something. I don't know. I think the noise... I'm worried you'll scare the battler away.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. I'm very on the fence about it. I don't know what the answer is, but I know obviously parts are running out. Yeah. I reckon LS1 wouldn't do too bad. Like, everyone thinks they're going to go faster. You're not. You're not going to go faster till you got 600 horsepower in it, 700, 800. Because the best thing you could do, though, you could spin the tyre enough to clean the tracks off better.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good thing. Because, like, when I've seen a V8 wingless versus a V6 and the V6 won. And if you actually have a little look in New Zealand, they're trialling the LS1 too, with the 6-shooters. So
yeah, right.
They've copied our rulebook with the V6 Commodore engine. So they're a 6-shooter. They don't run it like Western Springs and stuff. They run it Wakaraka Park and stuff. I'm surprised I said that right.
Yeah, I was actually just listening.
Yeah, so that's like a bit of a sedan track, I've been told from my New Zealand mates. Yeah, they have an LS1 that runs against them as a trial. It has a bit more straight line, but the thing that will be different, the mistakes, you can get out of mistakes easier.
Yeah,
that's what I think with that LS1 you'll have too. But I don't know. I don't know engine costing too much anymore because I have been out of having my own stuff for a while. So I don't really have an opinion on that. And Fitzers don't tell me anything. I don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it just rolls out a nice car every week, that's all I'm happy.
Because, like, obviously, like, I hear crazy things about what the V6s are costing to build now.
It's tough. Our
like,
engine builder doesn't anywhere close
here
to
we
that.
go.
But
This will be the Oz one guy saying it's a $3,000 engine.
It's not $3,000, but it's a bit... I don't actually know what it costs, but ours never cost any more than 4 or 5 like, for that. And Fitzers use the same engine builder as us. And honestly, like, you don't need KRE building you a V6 wingless motor. They're quoting you that much because they don't want your business. Like,
yeah.
This is common business. But, like,
yeah.
I've heard guys around Maxwell, like, V6 wingless engines. Like, what are you achieving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I've heard stuff of like 25k for V6 builds.
That's bullshit. Like, if you're doing that, you need to just try and find someone to put nice rod bolts in it. That's a big thing. Recondition the thing properly. To get your heads right. Get your program right. And then, that's all you need to do. Trust me. Like, it's just a recipe. Like, there's all these little 1%ers you do. I'm not going to say all of them because Fitz is a very thing with that. And I know that's a bit of a Miller thing too, and I in respect to them, I won't say. But you just go do all these little 1%ers.
Yeah.
And you have a decent... And none of it is spending money. Some of it's some of it isn't spending money. It's just little tricks you should know. But in a way, though, that's what you pay for.
It's ordering part numbers too.
Yeah, well, I don't know that much about it, but yeah.
I was speaking to Jack about it because he's gone absolutely...
Jack's motors are good, though.
He's gone...
That's the thing. Like, if you get one of Jack's motors, you know you're getting a good piece. And that's half the thing. Like, people want... Like, the power out of the V6, you need it. Like, you need every 1%, because Temby blew my motor up at... we have 3 motors at the Fitz. I think it's 3 or 4. And Temby blew the Oswan one up, I think. I lost track of it because they didn't have a spare and it was just a shit show. I don't know why we didn't go to die with that one. But anyway, that wasn't my business. I was in Indiana. But he blew one up for second night Chariots.
Yeah.
And I think that was the Oswan one. I don't know. But yeah, Gary's going to yell at me for this.
No, I don't think it was, because I don't think your Oz 1 motor had come back yet from being checked.
No, it hadn't. You're right. That was a 6 motor. Because we swapped motors before the title because I wasn't happy with one. And we're like, we're going to try this one. Put it in, it was better. Oh, no, we nearly blew it up. I'm an idiot. I won a race and blew it up. I have to think. Sorry, I do so many races, I forget. I won a race at Warrnambool and the oil pressure surged and blew the O-ring out of the oil filter and was blowing blue smoke everywhere. We've had this front seal problem for ages. And it was just bad oil. I'm not going to say the brand, but we use Lucas Oil now because I'm sponsored by them. And it's just a great product. We've never blown a motor up in 7 or 15 years. The oil gummed up and surged oil out the O-ring of the oil filter. And ran low on oil pressure and pretty much if I kept going for another 10 laps, it would have blew up. But Fitzpatrick's is run until it stops if you're winning and roger that. So, won the race. And, it was... Yeah, it spewed oil everywhere. My suit was covered. But, we blew that motor up. So we put what's called the V6 car, which is the black car. So the V2, V6, and Gabs is the V7-3. And I think we have another motor on idle. As in just sitting there in the shop. And, so does me. I don't even know the quantity of what we have at my own race team, I race for. But they're 2 hours away, so it's a difference. But, that blew up. So that was 3 weeks before the title. So I don't remember if we raced again. But, we just threw the other one in and ran it. And, race is history. So I think he got the one that sort of blew up back. And I think it blew up again. Maybe. But they're all very similar. But anyway, it needed new heads. So we machined the heads down. And we just, it blew okay. It was a little lower than I'd like. And the thing was just doughy. It was terrible.
Yeah. Right.
To be brutally honest. I had to, really hustle to... keep the wheels spinning, and I just started making mistakes. This was at Simpson, and I just said, I think we need to do something, guys. We're not great here. And then, Fitzpatrick's like, no worries, Todd. We'll get it figured out. Next race, he was brilliant. So, won the next race. So, no.
So this is what Jack would call like roid house motors. People say that they're just a wrecker motor they just got from the wrecker, and then
a roid house. So roid house used to build them. So.
Well, that's what he's saying. Like, all these people say that like their motors are like.
The thing is, everyone goes in Rich's site when he had it. He doesn't do it anymore, but everyone went through his site and put all his options, and it ended up being like 15, 16 grand.
Yeah, from an engine builder, I won't name him. They said basically if you took a V6 to him, you wouldn't have anything in change from 15 plus, and he said that's like costs sort of thing. That's not like him turning a massive profit.
I've never done a full reco on them, but because I've been lucky, I've always had a motor, like a proper wing or something. I've never taken a wrecker and saying, "Hey, do this." You probably would end up close to that if you were putting everything on it.
Yeah, for sure. I think
the manifold, all the pulleys. The pulleys aren't cheap. Like if you just in the race sumps, like I wouldn't run. I ran the first 2 years without a race sump, and I regret it because I punched it once. I took it off after that and put a race sump on. But I was just running what I could, Like I did. My dad helped me, but I did a lot of it myself. So.
Because I think that's like my worry with going to the LS stuff. Like I know the CT525 is like 23.
525, no. But the thing is, though, they're paying 35 for him. Or 30 to 35.
Which that'll just kill
yeah.
wingless. That'll just be...
Yep.
That'll be
I mean, I think you'll have a different thing, but you won't have as many. You'll have a different guys. Like, you have midget guys and sprint car guys probably get that, like, go from wing cars back to that. Because it might be a good middle ground. You know, it might be a bit cheaper than midget. But I think they're missing the point. The wingless is that, like, as much as I hate it because I'm a non-wing guy, but it goes, yeah, wingless, LS, or 360 LS, and that's another thing. I think 360s aren't on a great path with Mandy series closing down, but yeah, it should be wingless, 360 LS, same deal, 410, like something like that as a path for the sprint car. But it is a big jump from wingless to sprint car, that's for sure, like 360 sprint car. Yeah,
it's probably not as big a jump to LS.
Yeah, so... But yeah, if you go from that LS1 or something, but because you can just, like, my sponsor's Rams Directors, you can just go down to Hilly's. His name's Russell Hill, so you can just go to Hilly's, pick out an LS1 and race the weekend, you know.
Yeah.
Brad Warren was a shocker doing that with sports sedans, if you know what sports sedan is. Like,
they confuse me, but...
So a sports sedan looks exactly like a modified production, but it's got an open motor. You can run whatever you want. It's actually pretty cool.
There was one up here, last time I was up here, and the V6s were going better. Is that what you were saying with the...
Yeah, like, it's the limited by a tyre. It's like an American modified. The UMP modified, you can throw a 430 and you go put the power on the ground. So, yeah.
So where do you think... Like, I know with the SA, the wingless, they grew by 6 numbers this year, and I think, from what I heard, there's already, like, another 6 coming next year. So the wingless class is growing.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't believe how much it's growing in South Australia. Like, for not many racetracks.
Yeah.
And not getting tow money.
And the calibre of cars too. Like, you look up and down the pits now with wingless, and they all look like killer. Like, majority of them, they've all got really nice wraps and everything like that. It's
and they're nice parts on it.
Yeah, whereas like 10, 15 years ago, they were like full farm.
It's funny, I watched a NOS sprint race in, like, the NOS sprints because I watched the COVID, mate. I had nothing to do. So Dream Multimeter had a Dirt Mod 2008 Oz title, and that was like the first time I went to Warrnambool with Dad with the Dirt Mod, and they had NOS sprints I remember supporting. I'm like, cool, not sprint cars on nitrous. I was like 10. But, yeah. Anyway, no, I just watched it, I'm like, shit, there's 2 nice cars here. Yeah. The rest of them are dungers.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're probably the nice
like cans. Old, like, I'm talking gamblers, and, like, there was even a low bar, like, with Duralite wheels and all that on.
There used to be one to get around Speedway City, had a Silver Crown tank on it.
They're not even probably a Silver Crown tank. They're probably just those tank magnets that mount on the front. They sit like 6 foot tall.
I'm pretty sure it was a Silver Crown tank.
A Silver Crown tank's half the length. A Silver Crown length is literally from me to you. Like, that's how big they are. Trust me, they're massive.
So that's something that you want to get into, your Silver Crown.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to get in. I haven't really started my search, but I'd like to get in one this year, on a mile, or at Eldora. I think that'd be sick.
Nah, mile.
Yeah, mile is my first preference, but I'll just jump in one at Terre Haute, or I don't think I'd be any good on the pavement. That's just a whole nother discipline.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know, we're going off that with wingless modes and end up on Silver Crown, but yeah.
Silver Crown's where it's at.
But yeah,
people don't realise.
No, it is good, but you have to understand it.
Yeah.
A lot of people watching it, it's like, this is boring.
Nah.
You got to think of it as, like, how long it goes. Like, you got to think of the strategy, like, this guy's going hard, 20 laps in, he's screwed for the last 20.
Yeah.
It was like when Kaylee Bryson at Springfield, just belting the cushion down. 30 laps to go, she ran out of shit. She ran out of tyres. They run out of power steering, run out of brakes, run out of tyres. That's the thing with them. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'll close up where you were with that, the LS deal with wingless. Yeah, I just think, we're going in circles, aren't we?
That's what happens.
It happens.
This is exactly what
happens. I know with LSs, we're at the point where the cars are nice. You got to think of it too, like, in terms of our evolution with parts, it's sort of stagnated. Like, a weld wheel, other than their little laser etch weld logo on them now, hasn't changed since 2008.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff hasn't changed, but as Broomy said in his podcast, you can't get good use stuff anymore, really. Guys using them, they're stuffed. And honestly, it's just a good peace of mind. Just to know your stuff's right. Like, I used to put nice new stuff on my car. Like, I had some stuff I get used, but it just depends how I had to do it, you know. The worst thing I ever did was put new torsion bars in a wingless. It was bizarre. Right. It made my thing so, like, reactive. It was nearly too much for the car, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was some brand new chalk sticks I got in America that first time I helped, but I figured it out in the end. But yeah. Yeah, anyway, I'll go back to your Silver Crown thing now. Yeah. I know, I just don't like open-ended stuff. I just like closing it off, so we've closed that off. Yeah, Silver Crown is just, honestly, we had one at my shop, and they're just a lot. There's so much more than a sprint car. It's like working on... Midgets are hard to work on too. But like just how much is on them is unbelievable. And they're just, you look at them, you just get butterflies. Like there's something about them that is so majestic.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, and that's sort of, it's, when you go back to the history of them, it's like that's legitimately the start of IndyCar stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's like still there. Like obviously IndyCar went that way, and the Silver Crown still is where it's at.
Well, the Indy 500 was sanctioned by USAC till like the 70s,
yeah,
80s, probably even later. I wish I knew more, but yeah.
I think you're right into the 80s. It even was, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I watched that doco on that guy who had the V6 turbo Indy cars, the Buicks.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was even USAC stuff, I reckon.
Yeah, there's probably a USAC sticker on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon it was actually, yeah.
The old shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I like about it too, the exact same thing. And they run it... See, well, it sucks that the Indy Fairgrounds closed.
Yeah.
I went there I actually watched the Farrell kids and the Eastham kids there with the quarter midgets racing at Mini Indy, which is at the back of the fairgrounds. So the fairgrounds is in the freaking ghetto of Indianapolis.
Yeah, right.
It's rough.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, drive in and I'm like, I went to the mile and I just got goosebumps straight away. It's just a horse track now, but I'm like, holy shit, this joint is sick. Like, it didn't even put on that great racing, but like, it's just sick. Like,
how do you reckon you go to the spotter?
Fine. You apparently can't hear shit half the time anyway.
Yeah, right.
You can sort of hear them, but yeah. You got to be careful. You have to set your passes up. You have to just be better than the guy, because they'll just block you.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I was asked to spot a few times, but I just wanted to go racing and see if I could get a ride. But I got asked to spot at Springfield and DuQuoin, and I just said, no, I'll stay here and try and get a sprint car. Didn't happen, but oh well. Yeah, that was fun. I was one for Flying Ryan, so Ryan Thomas and Trey Osborne. Trey got in a Silver Crown car and he wanted me to spot. I'm like, I probably can't, bud. Sorry. But yeah, he blew it up in practice anyway, so I probably could have made it happen. But
he's another guy that's like, he's doing whatever it's taken to make it work, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Big mistake though, he ran for Bolins, but anyway, he learned his lesson.
Because he's like couch surfing and stuff like that too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a house at the moment, which is good. But yeah, when I first met him, he had... So I want to say about my first... he wasn't... My first story with Trey was funny when I ran Joe's car at Paragon. That first night I ran, I see it roll in. This Triple X with magnesium front hubs on an open trailer with this beat up Chevy Silverado. I'm like, that is cool. That is sick. And anyway, I didn't know much about this kid. Anyway, I didn't really see him again to the feature. And I seen him start right in front of me, and I sort of just sized himself up a little bit. I'm like, I don't know him, he might fall back a bit. And like, I just sort of sized myself, like, because I just had I call it the Trophy Dash heat race. CJ Leary was in me heat. Jake Scott, who's won 6 track championships there. Trammell won 2. I think he won the track championship this year, I believe. Nah, Jake did, I think. But yeah, he's really good there. Cody Trammell. Flying Ryan, who's the qualifying king, he out-qualified me. And who was the other guy in me heat? Kyle Shipley, which he's good too. He's from Arizona, and same deal, moved to Indy to race. I had them in my heat races, and all the Dungans were in the other ones, you know. So I started like 12th in the feature, 13th. And yeah, anyway, Trey was like a row in front of me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just split him out. And I got to 7th, but anyway, I'm like, and then I look on a restart, I see this bloody black 6 case flogging the top. I'm like, holy shit. Anyway, and I come in and I say to Wingos, I didn't ask Joe about it, but I say to Wingos, I'm like, who's in the 6 car with the open trailer? And he's like, oh, that's Trey Osborne. He's this kid from Ohio. He's come over and he lives in a garage. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, he just lives in a garage. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, he really wants it.
Yeah,
good
definitely.
on him too.
Yeah.
And like, it shows, like, I had this mentality, and I sort of changed it seeing him. Like, I just needed to have stuff set up right to race over there. But he showed me I could just do it, put it together, put something really nice together, and just sort of not skimp on everything else, but like spend where I need to, you know. Just have an open trail with a bitchin' race car. But yeah, that was cool. Then I sort of just met him through Ryan Thomas, and yeah, we've gone on ever since. He's 6'8", Ranger. I call him he's a Ranger. Like, I just call him a Ranger. He's got no idea what I'm on about. But yeah, no, he's good value. He's good value.
Is he actually 6'8"?
Yeah, he's massive.
Jesus,
massive. Like, and he's 130 pounds. So what's that? 58 kilos.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a stick. Because he drove the 81 Silver Crown car.
Yeah.
And they just struggled on the slick shit. And, like, when it slickened off and didn't... When it rubbered up, they were right. But when it was slick, they really struggled. Because they had blokes like Matt Westfall and Shane Cotter who were 110 kilos, you know? And he's half that weight.
Mm.
So... Yeah.
So you're going back to America this year. You're going back now a lot more organised than you've ever been?
Yeah. Yeah, Sturgeon's was pretty organised. I spent a year doing that. I spent a year building that up.
Yeah.
It was actually sort of a COVID thing. Like, before COVID, I was going to run 5 or 6 shows during my uni break. And it didn't happen. I'm glad it did. Because I'm glad it didn't, because you've got to be very careful. First impressions are massive over there. In terms of racing. Like, not so much with your team, but for other people. There's Ricky Lewis, like, he's just killed us the last few years racing, like, wins and all that. But Ricky, like, yeah, he's he roughs you up a bit sometimes, and he races hard though, that's for sure. But yeah, he's known, like, he's in good gear though now, like, like with Stensland and all that. Stensland builds motors, but yeah, he's one that sort of, he didn't have a great name to start, but he sort of really established himself. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. I don't really want to name drop too many, because I don't, like, I'm not doing that to make Ricky look bad or anything. But yeah, he didn't have a great. He was just out of control when he got there, but he's really become a good race car driver. But yeah, that's why I wanted to think first impressions are important. So
yeah,
it's good I ran my 360. That was the whole purpose of buying that 360 sprint car, because during COVID, I was just in my head, the V6 wingless is light but slow, to be brutally honest, and then the dirt mods got what I, like, power-wise I need, but it's heavy. So you can get away with a lot, and there's a few little bad habits with dirt mods. But our car's I just compare it to a Silver Crown car with body, because it's got Jacob's ladder in it, it's got Sprinker live axle in it. It's just a bit longer and a bit heavier. So I had this middle ground, I need something fast and light to be able to adapt to American racing. And yeah, I had a team buyout, and it was pretty much at a ceased estate. And it was just a really good deal. I always knew with the car. Like, it was at my dad's work for years. And, yeah, we ended up getting that. And it was like... So this is our last minute my sprint car deal was. I sold my wingless when Chariots... We didn't run Chariots. I sold my wingless to my mate Thomas McDonald, because he wanted to do his own thing. And then I pretty much... Yeah, that was end of August. And then I had a sprint car by September. I sort of went 3 ways with myself and Dad and Mum, which we all sort of split 3 ways. So, yeah, my mum is my biggest supporter of racing. She just doesn't like watching. She gets scared. But,
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do some wild shit. But, yeah, we had a sprint car in the shed by September. I had to sort of redo the whole thing, because a lot of it was pretty flogged. And, yeah, we rolled out, I think, might have been November or December racing. So that's including taking the motor out, getting it refreshed and everything. I actually leased the motor the first 2 nights.
Yeah, right.
Off Paul Solomon. So, yeah, it was good. But that was the whole reason for doing that 360. It wasn't to go sprint car racing because it was cool. It wasn't to then the next step. It was to purely get me so I can feel like I'm slower in the 410s, and it worked perfect. So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, right. It's all coming around.
Yeah, and it's also a 410 under... like, a sprint car engine feels different. I'm not going to say a 410 because that's 360. But you got to drive with the throttle. Like, they feel a bit different underfoot, and that's how you got to drive them. So that was a good thing. I could feel how the torque worked with the sprint car engine. I could feel how the injection worked. Obviously, I just went there not looking like a fucking noob.
Yeah.
So I'll get in there and I knew exactly what I was doing, you know, like in terms of starting at least basics, like starting the car, leaning it off under yellows, leaning it off to motor heat it, how to shut them off, like all that stuff. Like, you didn't look completely stupid.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know how to push start a sprint car, or push it off, and I just figured it out. It's not hard, but like, it's easy if you screw up, but yeah. So,
yeah, I'd be the kind of guy that plays shit up like that.
Yeah, well, yeah. A lot don't know. I drag the brake before I start, so I don't chatter the diff. So that's one thing a lot of people do. If the push car screws up and misses the gear, your diff's still chattering, you could blow a ring gear off it. So. But yeah, that's the story of how I got the sprint car. So yeah, I don't really. Yeah,
I think like you're sort of selling yourself short, thinking that you're not gonna get to a USAC like level.
I mean, you just got to be humble with it. I sort of know I'm always a student of the game. You just got to, because if you get too, I don't want to say cocky, if you get too confident, over there just beats you up. Like, you think, hell yeah. Like, that's what happened at one night. I did really well the night before. And it's the same with the pro guys. Like, you do really well on the night. You just have to always stay a bit conservative for your stance. But you always want to get there. But you just don't want to think you know it all, or something like that. Because, they'll beat you up. Like that.
The non-wing stuff's probably like a little bit older, like guys too. They come into it when they're a little bit older. You don't reckon?
It's sort of like, it's a young man's game.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's a young man's game. It's not as much as sort of how the wing racing is at the moment, because that's the biggest fad. Like, that's the new, the fad. Like, you got to run midgets and wing sprint cars. Don't touch a non-wing, because Larson doesn't. Or Christopher Bell doesn't, you know.
They did, though.
They did, yeah. But they ended up hating them, and then all of a sudden they just ran midgets and sprint cars. So, like, if I can run them, I'll be Kyle Larson. But,
yeah.
Yeah. The non-wing guy, there are the old guys, the old veterans, but it is a young man's game to do some of the stuff they have to do. Like, I'm talking, like, still in your 30s and maybe early 40s, 50s, but, like, you're not going to be banging the cushion down at 55, you know, 45.
Nah. Not when life changes and bills and stuff. Like.
Oh, yeah, well, sometimes it's their income, so they do drive like that.
Mm.
Yeah. But the old guys are smarter, that's for sure. They know, they'll pick you. Like, they're very, very clever.
But they have to be. They've done it for so long, they've seen so much stuff.
Yep, for sure. But, like, yeah, I don't sell myself short, it's just you never... It's just... Yeah, you always just got to be a bit humble with it. Like, I'm very confident in what I do, but I just need to have that the proof, you know. Like, I haven't won a race in India yet. I'm not going to say I'm going to be a USAC superstar. I haven't won a race at a local level yet.
Yeah.
I've come close, but I haven't even podiumed, really. I've had a lot of top fives, but I haven't podiumed there yet. But, yeah, we'll get there. It's just, everything's year at a time.
Yeah.
Plod along. Like, you have some good times, you have some bad times, so... Yeah.
So, you're going to defend your Oz one at Lismore?
Absolutely. Yep. That's the whole reason I'm still there. Otherwise, I'd be at Paragon tonight.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm there. Like, I said that I'm going to run the year. Because my plan was just to stay over there and race and just do that. But, yeah, when we got the Oz one, sort of stuff changed a little bit. I wanted to represent Larry with the Oz one and give him... Because he tips in so much and puts in a lot of time and effort into our race program, and along with Gary, Sean and Gav, you know, like that's their life in a way too, you know. But, like, some have some other stuff on the cards with family and all that, but like that's their main thing, you know. That's their main thing they do as a family is go racing. So yeah, they so I want to do that for Larry, just run Oz one all year for him, you know, just because they deserve it. So I decided to do that, and then I was trying to get there in March, but it was just going to be too hard going back and forth, and I was going to try to do this race. You know, that's why I said to Paul, I'm going to go to America in March, try to race, but it just was all too hard. The car's not really, they sort of slow. When I said, I probably won't be there till May. They slowed down on doing the car and all that. So, but yeah, we'll plod along and do it. But yeah, Lismore will be good. Exact same circumstance as how I did archery. I never ran wingles there, but I've ran the dirt mod in the sprint car there too. So yeah, that helps. I think it helps a bit more because I see shit a bit faster and a bit more horsepower, so I know what we can get away with. Yeah. The dirt mod's pretty comparable to the wingless. It's just there's like horsepower and all that's a little different, but the DRC does drive different to pretty much every other car. Like, I say that, but it is different. Yeah, right. And if you ever get Tenby on, he'll say the same. Like, I can't describe it. I think Wheelie and Travis have driven it too, and I think Tony Mule has, and it's just a different feel. It's all on the back tyres. So how so? Like, it's hard to describe, but pretty much you just back it in, and it won't just slide across. It'll actually grip up and pull down and go where you want. Yeah, right. And it's right. All that, it'll kill you. But yeah, Lismore will be good. I just hope it doesn't lay rubber, but the guys up there do a great job. I'm just worried because there's a lot of wing-offs. But, you know, the Sours do a great job up there. I'm good mates with them because they're dirt mod people. Yeah. So we had some fun nights in America. They got young Drake up there this year, so Drake York. They knew. I think I told them that he was staying and then they messaged him straight away seeing if he could commentate up there, which was cool for that sprint car show. But yeah, Lismore will be good. Just same mentality as I had last year. Just plod along, get through the heats, because you're going to get given a lot more than you have to push, and that's where I think a lot get wrong with titles. And I've learned that myself too. I always used to psych myself up a bit too much, but just same deal with what I said. Like a club show, I treat the same. It's not that I'm lacking preparation. A club show, I'll treat the same as a title, etc. Because I always try to put the most preparation I can towards every race. That's what all dirt tracks lead to Indiana means. It's the same preparation. You got to learn something every race, and just make sure you get something out of it as well. So that's sort of what that means. Everyone probably sees it and wonders what it means, but that's what it means. So
I got it straight away.
Yeah.
Just because, from everything that I
it goes
watch,
back again to that 5-year process. Like everything's got a 5-year goal. Like everything's that little bit towards it.
Yeah, you got to have a business plan.
And then everyone sort of said, "Oh, yeah, you're there. Why don't you change it?" It's still going. Not where I want to be yet. So, yeah.
Like and subscribe.
I haven't even gone to my YouTube channel. See, I told you we get dragged out to everything. So, yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for your time, eh?
No worries.
Hopefully this is opening to some people, and hopefully gives them the confidence to go over. I wouldn't even have the confidence to go over, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot to know if you belong there. So that was sort of the first year, as if I belonged there. But yeah, it sort of was a bit better than I expected. You just got to do your research. Like, I knew how most of the tracks raced before I even went there in a way, but as I said, you're always behind, but you just have to accept that and eat a bit of shit. The best thing Jake Swanson said, just be prepared to eat shit for a few friggin' years, because that's what it's going to be before you get to where I am. Like, yep, you're 100% right. And he still eats shit, trust me. He might be all glitz and glamour, he's running for Bennett, honest Abe on the side, multi-millionaire, and still eating shit. That's how racing works. But yeah, it's been good. Thanks for having me on too. So
no, all good. Hopefully I see you over there one day.
Yeah, you need to get over, mate. Trust me, it's different. So it's enjoyable too. So.
I'll be the drunk dickhead on the top of the stands or something.
That's alright. Beer's cheap.
All right, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All good.